everyone. Thanks for being here. This is a 45-minute flow. Lots of movement, getting rid of unstuck energy. So do what you can. Know that Child's Pose is always available for you. If you want music, there's a playlist in the chat. It'll take you to Spotify, and you can go ahead and press play. When you're done with that, we will meet in Child's Pose. Knees out wide, forehead on the floor. Get in touch with your breath. Feel how your breath fills your belly. Feel how your belly contracts as you exhale. And know that as we move through class today, you have total control over your responses. Just like in life, we can't control what happens, but we can control how we react. We can choose to run away, or we can choose to lean in. Tabletop. Wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Drop your belly, lift your heart, inhale. Arch your back, tuck your tailbone under. Exhale. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, arch your back. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, arch your back. Move at your own pace. Inhale as you drop your belly. Exhale as you arch your back. You can add in any other motions that feel good in your body. Maybe you roll out your neck. Maybe you take some hip circles. If your wrists are really tight, you can turn your fingertips to the outer edges of your mat and just rock side to side. There we go. Getting into your forearms. Really whatever feels good. When you're done, press back. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips to the sky. You can pedal out your dog, bending one leg and then the other. Working into your hamstrings. Take your hands out a little wider than you would normally, so maybe your fingers come off the edges of your yoga mat. That's okay. A little added space for your shoulders. Take a little micro bend in your knees. Really scoop your tailbone up towards the ceiling, letting your chest wall fall towards your thighs, and then begin to straighten your legs. Begin to find stillness. Set your gaze on one specific physical point. This is called your drishti. Focusing your gaze will focus your mind. Let's start your ujjayi breath. In and out through your nose, lips are sealed. Little constriction in the back of your throat, creating the sound of the ocean in your ears. See if you can fill your space with the sound of your breath. Inhale your right heel up towards the ceiling. Bend your knee, open your hip. Reach up towards the sky with your right knee. Then drop it back down. Lift your left leg high. Bend your knee, open your hip. Reach toward the ceiling. And press it back down. Walk your feet up towards your hands. Take ragdoll at the top of your mat. Grab opposite elbows. Let your head hang heavy. Maybe you rock side to side. Whatever feels good. And then press down through your feet. Reach up. Extended mountain pose. Look up. Forward fold. Flat back. Press your hands into your shins or your thighs. Belly button to your spine. Reach forward through the crown of your head. Plant your hands, step back, high plank. Wrists under your shoulders, big toe mounds under your heels. Hug your belly button to your spine, tuck your tailbone under. Find an external rotation in your elbows. So they'll sort of hug in and back, and the creases of your elbows will shine forward. And just hang out right here, or lift your right toes off the mat, hug skin to muscle to bone. Stay strong. Drop your right toes, lift your left toes. Nice work. Shift forward, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Walk or float to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, belly button to your spine. Forward fold. Extended mountain pose, rise and reach. Forward fold. Flat back. And chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Walk or float forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, hands to the mat. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Walk or float forward. Flat back. Nose to knee. Root down, rise up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your heels, bend your knees, walk or float forward. Flat back, breathe in. Forward fold, exhale. Rise and reach, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Flat back, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Last round. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Walk or float forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise and reach. Look up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, hands to the mat. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Walk your feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Sink low. Big toes come to touch. Heels 2 inches apart. Belly button to your spine. Set your drishti, that calm, clear, focused gaze. And find your Ujjayi breath. As we said at the beginning of class, you always get to choose how you react. So maybe you're grumbling, or maybe you look at the screen, see if you can sit lower than me, maybe crack a smile, almost like we're in person in a chair competition. Oh yeah, nice job. Take a deep breath in. And forward fold. Take a halfway lift. And hands to the mat, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your right leg high. Step it forward, warrior one, back toes, 10 o'clock, root down, rise up. You can take your stance wide here. So right foot towards the right edge of your mat, left foot towards the left edge. Really go for that 90-degree bend in your right knee if it feels good in your body. Humble your warrior, interlace your fingers behind your low back, puff up your chest. Fold right shoulder to the inside of your right knee. Pull your right hip back, your left hip forward. Keep dropping into that right knee. Keep that 90-degree bend. And root down, rise up. Warrior one. Chaturanga, hands to your mat. Option to float the right leg on your way down. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high. Step it forward. Warrior one, back toes, 2 o'clock. Take up space laterally. Drop into that right knee. Find your foundation. Humble warrior. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Puff up your chest. Fold forward. Left shoulder inside of your left knee. Pull your left hip back, right hip forward. Keep dropping in. Warrior one, root down, rise up. Chaturanga, option to float the left leg. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your heels, bend your knees, walk or float forward. Flat back, breathe in. Forward fold, exhale. Chair pose, one breath. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, let it flow. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your heels, bend your knees, float forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose, one breath. Forward fold. Flat back. Chaturanga, let it flow. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right leg high. Warrior one. Root down, rise up. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg high. Warrior one. Root down, reach up high. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Last round. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Float forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose, one breath. Forward fold. Flat back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right leg high. Warrior one. Reach up. Let it flow. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg high. Warrior one. Reach up. Let it flow. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Nice work. Catch your breath. Option for puppy dog pose. Drop your knees to the mat. Let your chest and forehead fall towards the floor. Let your breathing regulate. Come back to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high to the sky. Right knee, right elbow. Keep your belly button hugging up and in towards your spine. Right knee, right wrist. Right knee, left wrist. Right knee, left elbow. Right knee towards your nose. Drop it forward. Low lunge twist. You can always drop your back knee. You can always float your left fingertips. Whatever feels good. Wherever you are, reach towards the ceiling through your right fingertips. Place your right hand on the mat, high plank. Shift forward, low plank. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg high. Left knee, left elbow. Make contact. Belly button to your spine. Left knee, left wrist. Left knee, right wrist. Left knee, right elbow. Left knee to your nose. Drop it forward, low lunge twist. Feels so good. Do what works for you. Drop your back knee. Float your right fingertips. Modify to your degree, as always. Drop your left hand to the mat. Find a high plank. Shift forward, low plank. Up dog. And downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. I promised we'd move, so here's another option for that. Shorten your downward facing dog, so bring your toes in maybe like 6 inches. And then you're going to bend your knees a lot. Bring your big toes to touch. Bend your knees towards the sides of the mat. So you're sort of making like frog legs. And just see how that feels. Do a couple pulses. And then we're going to take frog hops. And you'll do 10. So you'll bend your knees way out to the sides. Then you're going to hop up, keeping your feet together. And the idea here is to stack your shoulders over your wrists, getting a little bit of hang time. Now you do that is keep your belly button hugging up and in towards your spine. You're probably going to do more than 10 because I'm talking and going slow, but that's okay. Keep moving at your own pace. Use your drishti as a tool to keep you focused. I'm on 5. Keep going at your own pace. Belly button hugs up and in. All right, and you've probably done 10. I'm quitting early. We'll meet in a chair pose at the front of your mat. However you want to get there. Nice work. That never fails to get my heart rate up. And again, we can choose our reaction. Grumbling or smiling. Either one is great. Make this the lowest chair pose you've ever sat in and go so low that your butt touches the ground. We'll meet in a boat pose. Belly button hugs up and in. Find a little lift in your chest. And here we go, modifications. You can place your hands behind you, fingertips facing your hips for added support. You can bring your knees tighter into your chest. Or if you need a super challenge, you can straighten your legs. Not in the cards for me today. We'll just take some twists. Interlace your fingers. Touch the mat on either side. Keep lifting through your chest. Belly button hugs up and in. See if you can keep your shins parallel to the floor. Keep flexing your feet, pulling your toes towards your nose. Nice work. And then bring your knees into your chest. Rock and roll forward and back, forward and back. Massage out your spine. And we're going to meet in a chair pose. So get up enough momentum that you pop up and land in a chair. Nice work. Hands to heart center, twist to your right. Left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Press palm to palm. Spread your wings. Lift your gaze. Check out your knees. If your left knee is in front of your right, like mine, pull it back in line. Hands to heart center, chair pose. Hands back to heart center, twist to your left, right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Press palm to palm. Spread your wings. Check out your knees, pull your right knee back in line. Then lift your gaze to that top hand. Chair pose. Forward fold. Split your feet hips distance apart. Wrap your peace fingers around your big toes. Take a halfway lift. And forward fold. Let your elbows bend towards the outsides of your mat. Let your head hang heavy. Release any tension that's gathering in your low back, in the back of your neck. And transition into gorilla pose. So bend your knees a lot. Work the soles of your feet up onto the palms of your hands. See if your toes can touch your wrist creases. And yeah, bent knees are totally cool here. And begin to pull up on the bottoms of your feet as you roll your shoulders down your back. Feel that deep, beautiful stretch in your low back. And then release. Take crow pose if it's in your practice. Plant your hands, fingers out wide. You can grip the mat with the tips of your fingers like a gecko, if that's what geckos do. Make a shelf with your triceps. Place your knees right up on that shelf. Hug your belly button in towards your spine and stay right here. Or begin to take flight, keeping your big toes pressing together. Use your drishti, gaze right out in front of you. Almost like a third leg for your stool, your crow stool. Yeah, and just do what you want to do. Let yourself play. It's pretty cool. We get to balance on our hands. Doesn't happen often. And whenever you're done, we're going to meet in a goddess squat. So toes out, heels in, hands at heart center. Don't let me stop you if you want to stay in crow for a while longer. It's a pretty great pose. But when you're ready for goddess squat, find a little lift in your chest and really use your elbows to push your knees apart, getting into your hips. Nice. And then, because this is power yoga and this pose can be easy if your hips are flexible, lift your arms high and lift your hips until they're right under your knees. You're going to probably want to widen your stance quite a lot. Oh yeah. Belly button up and in towards your spine. You got this. You can take little pulses if that feels good. Rock out to the music. Just resting your awareness in the sensations of your body, dropping out of your thinking mind. We don't do this often enough. We'll just be here for a few more breaths. You got this. Belly button hugs up and in, strong core. And take a forward fold. Nice work. Place your right hand on the mat, bend your right knee, lift your left arm to the sky, gaze at your left fingers. And place your left hand down, reach your right arm high, bend your left knee, gaze at your right thumbnail. Come back to a forward fold. Standing splits, right foot down, left foot high, fingertips on the mat. Reach through your left heel, bringing your nose towards your knee. Take a big inhale. Exhale, curtsy squat. So you'll bend your right knee, left knee to the back of your right calf. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, curtsy squat. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, curtsy squat. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, curtsy squat. Inhale, standing splits. Option to stay here, or if you want to plant your hands flat on the floor and take little hops, prepping for handstand, be my guest. If you're taking these little hops, belly button hugs up and in, flex through your left foot, keep your left leg straight, let it pull you up towards the ceiling. Nice. Take a forward fold. Reach up, extended mountain pose. Maybe shake out your legs. Yeah, and then take a forward fold. Left foot down, standing splits. Right leg reaches up towards the ceiling. Yeah, nice. Can't watch the screen and balance at the same time. Let your nose come in towards your knee. And then take a deep breath in. Exhale, curtsy squat. Right knee to the back of your left calf. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, curtsy squat. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, curtsy squat. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, curtsy squat. Last one, standing splits. Breathe in. Exhale, curtsy squat. Inhale, standing splits. Stay right here. Keep reaching through the right heel, or plant your hands flat on the mat. Begin taking little hops, prepping for handstand. Keep your belly button hugging up and in. Right leg as straight as possible. And little butt kicks with your left heel. See how softly you can land. Do one more wherever you are. We'll take a forward fold. Let your head hang heavy. Root down, rise up, extended mountain pose. Forward fold. Nice work. Halfway lift. And let it flow. Hands to the mat. Chaturanga. High or upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Drop your knees to the mat. Take puppy dog pose. Let your forehead find the floor. And then just begin to scoot forward till you're lying on your belly on the mat. And that's it. Standing series over. Take a second, turn one cheek to the mat. Turn the other cheek to the mat. Forehead to the floor. Press down, lift up, locust pose. Relax the tension in your jaw. Next inhale, lift everything up a little higher. See if you can get your thighs off the mat. Relax the tension in your jaw. See if you can bring your shoulder blades together on your back. Yeah. And lower down. Bend your knees. Windshield wiper. your feet. And take locust number 2 or floor bow. So reach for your ankles or the outer edges of your feet. Kick your feet into your hands. Lift your chest and thighs off the floor. And bring this pose into your legs. So see if you can relax your shoulders. Feel like you're just hanging off of your ankles, like your ankles are a tree branch. Each inhale, find a little bit more length. And lower down. Child's pose, press back. Lengthen out your spine. And come to stand on your knees, prepping for camel. Knees about 6 inches apart. Bring your hands to your low back, thumbs touching. Press down onto your glutes. And begin to lean back, bringing your shoulder blades together on your spine. Release your jaw. Head drops back last. If you need more of a stretch, you can bring your hands to your heels. The most important thing is continuing to breathe, And then come all the way up, make your way onto your back. Lift your heels to the sky, flex your feet, toes towards your nose, and we'll just begin with some little crunches, keeping your low back pressed into the floor, cradling your head in your hands. See if you can keep your elbows out of your peripheral vision. Keep flexing your toes towards your nose. Bicycles, opposite knee to opposite elbow. If you want to make this harder, you keep your legs straight. Still bring opposite knee to opposite elbow. Scissor bicycle. Not in the cards for me right now. Wherever you are, keep your feet flexed. And then bring your heels to the sky. Work your hands underneath your hips. Protect the low back. Squeeze your legs together. Drop your feet 30 degrees down and hold. 60 degrees down and hold. 2 inches above the mat. Check out your toes and flutter kick for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your head. Lift your toes. Drop them 30 degrees down. Belly button to your spine. 60 degrees down. 2 inches above the mat. Look at your toes. Bounce them up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your head, lift your toes. Lower down 30 degrees. 60. 2 inches above the floor. Look at your toes. Click your heels together for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your head, lift your feet. Bridge pose. Soles of your feet find the floor. Lift your hips to the sky. You can interlace your fingers underneath your low back if that feels good. Feel really good on the belly after that core work. Toes on 12 o'clock. Really press into the mat to open your heart. And then lower down. Rock your knees from side to side. We have 2 more back bends today. You can take another bridge pose, or if wheel is in your practice, go for it. Wheel pose, fingers by your ears, fingertips facing your shoulders. And you can sort of angle your fingers towards the edges of your mat to give your shoulders more space, not shape, space. And toes on 12 o'clock, pop on up, wheel or bridge. Either one is cool. Wherever you are, press into the mat to open through your heart. Keep breathing. Drishti set on 1 point. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Rock your feet from side to side. Rock your knees from side to side, I should say. And last, back bend, your choice, bridge or wheel. Press down, lift your hips up. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together, knees out wide, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And bring your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Take happy baby. Wrap your peace fingers around your big toes if you like. Straighten one leg and then the other, or both at the same time for wide leg straddle. And then we'll move into a hip opener of choice. You can take figure 4 on your back. So bend your left knee, right ankle in front of your left knee. Pull your knee in towards your chest. If you want a little bit deeper of a stretch, you can take half pigeon. So you'll come through downward facing dog. And bring your right knee to your right wrist. Eventually bringing your left ankle or your right ankle towards your left wrist, going for that shin parallel to the front of your mat. And get situated in your half pigeon and then come down onto your forearms or onto your forehead, working deep into that outer right hip. This is really where you can watch your reaction. We carry so much emotion in our hips. So what is your reaction as you use your breath to move through that tightness? Do you try to run away when it gets hard, or do you lean in and breathe through every little release? You should exhale, see if you can drop in a little bit deeper. And then find your transition. If you're in downward, or if you're in half pigeon, come through downward facing dog. Even out your hips. Left knee to left wrist. If you're on your back, bring your right knee into your chest. Left ankle in front of your right knee. And drop in. Notice if your breathing gets really shallow as your mind wanders. And just come back to that intention, staying present through every little release, watching how your mind reacts. Begin your transition. Downward facing dog if you're in half pigeon. And drop your knees to the mat. Make your way onto your back. If you have wall space, you can take a wide leg straddle on the wall. You can also come through half pigeon, not half pigeon, happy baby, and take wide leg straddle from happy baby. Either one. Just working into your inner hips now. Be mindful of your breath. And then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. And take Shavasana. Ankles to the outer edges of your mat. Arms by your sides or splayed out wide. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. And then begin to bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. And roll over to one side. Make a little pillow for your head with your hand or your bicep. And begin the process of inviting in gratitude. Gratitude for our health and our strength. Gratitude for this practice, the communities that sustain us, and gratitude for our immense privilege to be able to take time out of our lives to practice yoga. Press up to a seated position, legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed, hands at heart center. Thank you so much for creating this space with me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thumb knuckles to your third eye center, invite in light. The light in me honors and sees the light in you. Together we bow and say, Namaste.